Welcome back to Power Tech TV and this first part of our analysis, part one, of going back to the drags in search of a better time in the Model 3 performance. Now, I can remember saying that we would be happy if we got ourselves an 11.39 second quarter mile pass. Now, I'm not one of these YouTube folks that likes to keep you in suspense and makes you watch to the end of the video, so you can stop now if you just wanted to know the time, because we went 11.40. So close, yet so far. Those weight reduction mods I showed, the lightweight rims, and of course the lightweight driver, they all added up and came together for an 11.4 second pass. However, we didn't get our 11.3, but we now have a clear pathway into getting that time. And I'm pretty sure that next time out, with some more little tweaks, we will get there. So let's run through what happened. First thing is, we got there to the Bend V-Power, Shell V-Power Motorsport Park, and went to the BP on the run there. Quite a conflict that, isn't it? And plugged into the Tesla supercharger bank of 6 by 250 kilowatt V3 superchargers. Now, Tom came around to my house. I live exactly an hour from the drag strip, and he drove the car to get familiar with it. He'd never driven a Tesla before. So we got him in the car and I let him drive, and we went to some of the parking bays on the way up on the freeway, and I just let him have a test hit up to 30 kilometres an hour, of course, because we all know Teslas don't go after that. And he got a feel for the car, feel for the steering, feel for everything, and we were good to go. So like I said, we did some test hits up the freeway, keeping all legal, of course, not speeding. You don't need to feel what a Tesla does and how it does it. Actually, do you prefer me with or without the Space Wizard wand? Speaking of Space Wizard wands, there's no ho, bobe, ho, world, or whatever he says, whatever that dribble is that comes out of him. He's not here today because, again, he's away working. And we will cover him off a little bit in terms of what happened to him at the track. But let's just say he started out like that and ended up like that. So maybe I'll let him tell his own story. But yeah, no con rods were hurt, so that's great. So we went up to Shell V-Power Motorsport Park, went to the BP at the Shell V-Port. You get me? It's just a bit of a tongue twister because we go to the Shell Motorsport Park and then go to the BP. There is no Shell there. And then plug into the Tesla supercharger, V3 supercharger, 250 kilowatt, and just jammed it up to 100%. It only took 30 minutes, even though the last little bit of charging the battery is slow. Only took 30 minutes and we were ready to go. And of course, Big Pole, Gareth, everyone else that was racing there was already in line. They line up a bloody hour before the gates open. It was hot, it was windy, and it turned out it wasn't a great day. But again, we ran out of time. So let's step through what happened. So first run, there it is there. Justin's about to play it for you. We went fast, just like last time. 11.408 at 118.83. So I'm saying 11.40 at 119, right? Great gain in mile an hour. Great gain. 3 mile an hour or so. 2.5 mile an hour over last time, which is, shows good power. We obviously got the preconditioning of the battery right. And the time was, a tenth and a half quicker. I was expecting a bit more, but when Tom came back, I couldn't really blame him. He just did what he did. They're quite an easy car to drag race. And also he forgot to enter the DYO challenge. So we missed out on taking that $1,000, which is pretty shameful, but that'll be a job for me at a later date in the new one. So we had a look at the time card and it was up. It was better everywhere, obviously, but the 60 foot was slower. We could not get this car to 60 foot. And I put it down to a combination of two things. Firstly, there was no way this time out of avoiding the water box. Like most drag racing officials, and I'm not going to criticise anyone, but I've been to a few strips in my big number of years. When they put water down, they put down just enough in a patch that you can drive through and warm your tyres, and they leave a drive around, right, either side of it, so that some cars, some all-wheel drives and some things like the Model 3 that don't need to get water on their tyres and don't need to do a skin. can get a dry line. Not so here. These guys were putting down like literally hundreds of litres of water, it seemed like, to the point where it went across the entire box up to the centre divider and then started running down towards the line. So if I could add some constructive criticism, whoever was doing it this time versus last time, you don't need that much water. A, it'll make for happier street meet races or some, and B, it'll keep your water bills down. Very important in this these days of fiscal tightening, I might add. But yeah, so we couldn't avoid the water. And it was getting worse and worse across the day. So with each of Tom's runs, have a look at the second one. We didn't even go a tenth slower, and we didn't go a mile an hour slower. But every time the 60 foot was getting slower. Now I had the tyres at 46 PSI in the old money, which is about right. But the problem there being that we weren't getting any wheel spin, but it's a hard one. There must have been some power cut going, not that it was obvious from when I was looking at the car or it was obvious to Tom, but we were 185, 184, 60 foot. We should have been 178, and that would have got us 11.35 quite easily. We had the mile an hour. We had the mid-track to end-track speed, and we had up to half-track was fine, but we just lost it all on the 60 foot. So next time I'm going to have a talk to them if I can, or just hopefully someone different's working and they don't have 200 gallons, litres of water pouring all over the place. Again, I've been to a lot of drag strips, both here and around other countries in the world, the US and Japan and so on, and I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen a full fish pond in the water box. You could have I was thinking of getting a bit of corn, rod, hook, and maybe pulling out like a 10 kilo carp. That's how deep these puddles were. Again, just a suggestion. Maybe I'm an idiot. At least 50% of people you ask that question will say, yes, he is. So that, and you'll see we did get walked in a couple of those runs. I mean, we did punish a VS Commodore or whatever it was first up. I think he went on to win the DYO challenge and $1,000, so good old buddy, you did well. But then we came up against a Tirana that is crazy, vast. And then some. The last run, which we will play again on the intro to the second version of this telecast, we came up against some Dodge drag car thing straight out of the States, which was wicked, and it was an honour to lose to that. So next time we'll talk about what we could do better. You love your range anxiety, you love your hosts, and you love the invisible one that's not here today, Paul Bo Behalzon, and you love the Space Wizard Wand. So if you want more of range anxiety, get down, click the link below, subscribe, and make sure you stay up to date on all the most important things.